Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a look here at STX, seeing what's going on with stacks, and just double checking. Got a lot of requests for this one here on my Twitter, as well as, of course, our crypto community here through YouTube. So again, if you're not part of our Twitter here, it's growing. Be part of the first 100 if you could, please, of course. Help us get that up and running. It's really great to be able to interact with our community members and essentially just give you some really awesome, fundamental technical data and some humor along the way too, because we got to have some levity here in the market because it can get a little crazy sometimes. So be sure to check that out. Of course, thanks again so much for helping us grow the channel. And of course, if you haven't liked, subscribed, followed on YouTube, be sure to do so and enable notifications. So what we want to look at here with STX is a couple of things. First of all, it's important to recognize that we got this resistance level coming up here. So I just put this line on the chart here, basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost 7 times we've seen this level retested. Okay, so it's important to recognize that that's a point of contention here. That we're going to have some difficulty getting past that, but if we can break through that level, should be in good shape. We also want to take a look at some potential realities here and how much higher the price could go if we were to break that level, because again, you can effectively see a 2x return in a lot of cases when you break through key level resistances. It just depends on how Bitcoin behaves. So keep in mind, Bitcoin's doing well, right? So take a look at this chart here for Bitcoin, and then see what STX looks like as well. Pretty similar charts here in a lot of ways. Difference is Bitcoin is kind of jumping all over the place, where STX kind of tends to stay in its range, right? So that's a good sign. It kind of gives us some predictability there, right? Just note, today's candlestick is due to Bitcoin doing well, breaking through that resistance of 27.2. And obviously, at this point, it could continue to run. We just want to be optimistic, we don't want to be overly optimistic. We want to be realistic here in the sense that the price action should pull back here soon, because what we are seeing here so far, and this is still early, we're about 6 days into this continuation. We might have 3 days left of push. If we don't break through this level, we might see some issues. Okay, so let's just talk about where we're at here. So quickly here to note on the charts, we can see on the daily we broke through 50 on the RSI. Bitcoin has a very similar pattern, which is fantastic. We're also 3 days into our convergence, which is equally as beneficial. Very curious about the moving averages here. We're above all three. That's unusual. Most coins cannot say that right now. So this kind of tells us that we have a nice support level here, 0.786 at about 62.7 cents. Okay, so if the price does pull back, it would make sense for it to bounce off of that level because we have the 50-day SMA holding strong. Furthermore, we also got the 200 working its way up and the 50. So we got a lot of positivity here. If we see a pullback, it may not be that aggressive. Again, just depends on Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops to 25, 26,000 tomorrow. You bet your butt STX is going to drop too. Okay, that's just the way it goes. But if Bitcoin can hold and maintain itself, you can see that STX is doing much better than Bitcoin in the overall sense, maybe 2 to 3x. So we can expect that to continue if Bitcoin can maintain 27.2 or higher. If you haven't watched my video on Bitcoin today, be sure to do so. It's important to note because that is really just the key to trading altcoins, is knowing what Bitcoin does. Also keep in mind too as well, we took some massive profits here recently from Render in only 4 hours, nice 25%. And nice little 4.5% from a spot trade there. We do both leverage and spot. And then, of course, with our Premium Plus, with our day trades, we're hitting a lot of targets too. Nice BNB, 12%, XRP, 5%, Ethereum. Should have been a 10x, but we only got filled on the spot, of course. But generally speaking, awesome profits there. So again, congrats to our community members there as well. You can register for that. CryptoCash.tech is a homepage for that. So again, those are all fully automated, really awesome feature. But what isn't fully automated, of course, is this 4-hour time frame. What we want to look at, though, is a key factor here. Now, I identified this on Bitcoin. I wonder if it's the same here. We're at an 8 on TD sequential on Bitcoin. And right here with STX, it's been pushing a lot harder, faster, and for longer, for lack of better terms. So we are seeing we're in overtime right now. So we should have seen a pullback at the 9. It's common for the price action to retrace when we hit a 9. If we see here previously, it went 9 plus 1, 2, 3. So we went 12 hours into overtime here previously. We're now 8 hours into this as well. So the probability of breaking through this key level resistance right now is fairly low. I would love it. I'd welcome it. But if it happens, it's actually disadvantageous because it's going to just mean we're going to pull back harder because we're moving up too fast. What we want to see is a pullback down here to 0.786, this 0.627 level, to effectively get that bounce off that most recent high. Okay, so again, that's what I'm looking for. I'm going to set an alert here, kind of pay attention to this here when the price pulls back to that level, see if it's worth getting back in. Okay, again, just because I set an alert doesn't mean the price is going to pull back to that level, and just because it does doesn't mean you jump in. We look and reevaluate at that time to understand if it's worthwhile. Okay, but for right now, we're overextended. We're well over 70 on the RSI, nice MACD convergence. So just keep in mind that overextensions have a tendency of pulling back. In crypto, they can keep going though too. You please got to recognize that. It's not an exact science. But if we look at its history here, OP has a tendency of hitting these resistance levels, breaking through, retesting them as supports, and continuing higher. So what we did here previously, we retested this level, broke through. We should be able to retest it and continue higher. That's essentially what we're looking for and hoping for. So to me, I'd much rather buy the pullback and get a better value than try to jump in when the price is running. Again, different strategies for different people, but I do average a fairly high success rate because I'm very patient. And some people may not like waiting a few days for a trade, but I can tell you, I truly enjoy it. It's just the way that works well for me. Everyone has different risk tolerances though. All right, so STX in the hourly. We are also seeing a similar pattern here where the price action continues to these levels, retests, and consolidates. Right now, we're trying to push to that level too, so I wouldn't be surprised we have see another 4 to 6 hours of continuation because we're at a 3 on the 1 hour and we're at overtime on the 4 hours. So in truth, this run here could continue for another 6 to 12 hours. All right. Again, should it? Probably not. Do we want it to? We don't. Because if we break through that level and it runs a little bit, it'll pull back harder because it doesn't have a healthy continuation. This is not that great of a consolidation pattern. It's increasing and continuing. We see this nice pattern, of course, don't get me wrong. Breakouts occur. You can only do this so many times in a row. All right, anyways, enough about that. Let's look at the data here and call it a day. Ichimoku Cloud, green lights, no reason to even be concerned there. We want to take a look at this volume profile here. We can see a decent amount of volume once again at that 63-cent mark. So I'd say 63 cents would be a great point to essentially consider taking entry. Again, reevaluate, but that's a nice steady consolidation just below a key level support, which is at Fibonacci at 0.786. So ideally, in the perfect world, we're going to be range bound for a moment here, a little bit longer. Price will continue to consolidate there, come back down here, and then bounce. That's what I'm hoping for, and we should see, once again, because we should see retracement from Bitcoin too, albeit overextended. Okay? So that's roughly where we're at there for STX. We want to maybe take a quick look here at the 4-hour super trend, just kind of see average true range is looking very good. So we are well above those levels. So again, all great signs here. Okay, I'm not trying to be pessimistic and tell you that the price is going to pull back, but in all realism, I like to be the voice of reason in these situations because people will FOMO in a lot and get wrecked. So a lot of times it's better to wait for the pullback that either never happens or it happens and you get in a better value versus jumping in at the highest point and the price dropping from there. Okay, I'd much rather be patient and wait. So again, just trying to be the voice of reason, as I say there, so you can make an educated decision here. Again, there's a good chance it could continue and break through that resistance level and keep going. But for right now, it's looking pretty good, and there's a good chance we should see a pullback just based on overextension. Bitcoin is also overextending itself as well, and it would make sense to see somewhat of a retraction of that 27.2 to 26.8 range. All right, I hope that makes sense and I described that correctly. Thank you again so much for watching. If you could please help us grow our Twitter once more. Just a final request there, and obviously you want to become a better trader. CryptoCash.tech is a site linked down below. We have a lot of great traders and awesome to be able to kind of interact and communicate with our members, right? It's a really cool situation where we all keep in touch and continue to grow. All right, so if you want something better, maybe next level of trading, CryptoCash.tech is a site. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you again so much for your time. We'll see you soon.